up, Big Runner Nation? I hope we're having an awesome week. Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be talking about snow goose tips and tricks. Hope you guys like the jump in quality and in the video and the sound. Before I had a Sony a6000, the sound on it was just terrible. For whatever reason, that mic didn't work very well. So now I got a Sony a7 III. Look forward to videoing hunts with it. Overall just quality going up. So I always want to be better than before, continue to get better and make my videos better. So let's go ahead and before we jump in, make sure to hit subscribe. You don't want to miss out on future content, constant hunts. Throughout the summer I'm going to do a lot of tips and tricks and quite a few reviews I've got lined up here. So let's go ahead and jump on in. We got 3 tips today. First one we're going to be talking about is scouting. There's 2 different viewpoints on snow goose hunting. There's decoying and then there's jump shooting. So jump shooting, drive down to a pond, trying to find a levee to come up over a hill, basically trying to get to them before they can figure out that you're there, and you jump them. Now, is that my favorite way to snow goose hunt? No. Do I usually do it a couple times, maybe once or twice a year? Yeah. We have quite a bit of ponds that we can jump, so if we really wanted to, we could stack up a lot of snow goose. But doing it that way, you kill a lot. That's great. You're, killing some of the population, but it's a lot of work because if you got 1,000 snow geese to, cut up, it's a lot of headache. So it's just not the killing's not the big part for me. So it just isn't my biggest thing. My biggest thing is about decoying. I love decoying snow geese. It's hard to do, and they're very skeptical birds. They're hard to get down out of the air. But when they do it, and it's beautiful. It makes that much more exciting. I would say that snow geese is probably one of the hardest waterfowl to hunt. Why I say that is because the average snow goose is 9 or 10 years old. That means it's been up and down the flyway 9 times being hunted, and so adult snow geese are not exactly the easiest birds to deal with. They're hard, and they're really hard to get down out of the sky. So scouting is number 1. So the few things you want to realize is especially in the spring season, they're migrating. They're trying to get back north as fast as they can. So in a year like this year, when it got warmed up and all that snow is gone, they're going to try to be pushing as far north as they can. So right now, the adults are starting to push into South Dakota. Still a lot of adults in Nebraska. You're starting to see some juvies at the very bottom of Nebraska. Probably start seeing some maybe by this weekend or next week. And then you've got Missouri and then down into Arkansas. So adults are harder to hunt. That's what we got hunted this weekend. We put out the spread. But now back to scouting, kind of got off the tangent. Scouting, you're going to want to find a water source. More than likely, they're going to be roosting there overnight. Once they're done roosting, they'll get up, they'll feed, they'll go back to water, either roost or somewhere else, and then they'll go to feed. And then definitely by that nightfall, they'll go back to the roost. So you're going to want to find a source. You either want to get on the feed field for the mornings and the afternoons. You're either going to get on a water source. Either you're going to want to put on the water source they're on. I don't recommend doing that because that's a roost. It breaks them up. But if you can get in that circle where they're going, that area, then you can find a water source that they come back to. So in our scenario, we've got a roost over here. They go out to feed in the area fields. And then our pond is over here. So when they're kind of coming back this way or this way, they see us. They either make the choice to go to the roost here or they go back to the river. So that's kind of the scenario we're in. We're in a loaf pond scenario. But scouting is number 1. Why I say that is because these migrating geese, they may be there a day or 2, and they may be there a week. It just depends. But really pinning down what they're doing is the number 1 key because they are hard to find if you want to be where they want to be. So it all depends on what kind of work you want to put in. For us, we run a permanent spread, so we kind of know an area that they're normally in, we set it up and hope for the best. So it all depends on what you want to do. So let's go back to tip number 2, decoys. Decoys, in my opinion, are the second part of this, because there's a lot of training. There's 2 different ways of thinking. There's full bodies, there are socks, and then there's silhouettes. I don't really like silhouettes. Not a lot of people use them, because snow geese, if your spread's here, they're hanging out up here. Silhouettes, you just can't really see them. Canada geese come in like this, they can see silhouettes. So we don't use any silhouettes, or hardly any. Then there's full bodies, and then socks. Socks. Socks are great for an economical route. That's a lot of what we have. They're easy to store. They're smaller. They're easy to pick up. They're easy to put out, and they just overall don't take up a lot of space. Now, full bodies, you can use less of them. Full bodies are more expensive. You're looking at $300 probably for a dozen, whereas you can do, like, Tangle Free has them on sale usually for like $230 for 50 on the socks. So I normally buy 100, 200 a year to just kind of beef up the spread. Now, obviously, you got 12 to 50. So there's a lot more socks there to be had. So it all depends on how much you're willing to invest and how much money you want to throw into hunting these things. Full bodies, you can get away with hunting from, maybe 100 full bodies to 800 full bodies or 1,000 full bodies. That, or in comparison, you can run anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 socks. A lot of people mix them. For us, we run the full bodies where our hide's going to be at, and then we run socks on the other part of it, and then motion as well. Full bodies are great because they're more realistic, but also the socks are really nice because they create a lot of realism when they move in the wind, and so everyone has their different way of thought. We run them together just because we like the realism part of the socks, and the economical part is a big thing too. They're a lot less expensive. So it boils down to on how much you're willing to spend, but in my opinion, snow goose hunting is all about quantity. We run about 2,000 in our spread. Would I love to run more? Absolutely. We add to it each year, but like I said, it's a money deal. So the more you can get, the better. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is your hide. Your hide is one of the most important things when you're snow goose hunting. There's 3 different ways to do it. Pip blind, an A-frame, and then laying out the decoys either on a backboard or a layout. If you're on the backboard or layout, you're going to want, either way, you're going to put decoys. You're going to either put them on top of you, around you. Basically, you're going to make everything super thick where you're at, so it seems like there's a feed going on where you're at. With that, it keeps you hidden. The more hidden you are, the better, because these birds, if say adults are 9 years old, or you can expect them to be that old, and so they've seen everything. And if you're not hidden, you're just going to pick up and go. A-frames, second way, it's a little less popular, but spend a lot of time on your hide, make it very well hidden, make sure it doesn't stand out. And then the third part of it is try to keep your decoys away from it. You want to have, say, if your A-frame's here, you got a south wind coming in your fit, or coming in this way, you want to have decoys really thick right here so they pay attention to the decoys rather than you. That way they keep their attention off your hide. Kind of similar to any other hunting, really, with ducks or geese. So just kind of think of that. And then the last way is the pip blind. Everyone has their school of thought. I think pip blinds cover people up really well, keeps their focus off of it. So the way we've got it is, we've got the pip blind, we've got most of our decoys out this way, we've got some out here in the field, and then we've got most of the full bodies around covering up our pip blind. I think we are going to change up our spread. The field is kind of, it's tilled, so there's just really not a lot of feed left. They're not feeding there. So we're going to move most of them into the water playing the afternoon. I think we're going to do a lot better that way. So really, it boils down to snow goose hunting is a learning experience. If you're there to enjoy wildlife and your buddies, you're going to enjoy yourself. Because truthfully, I would say 80% of the time you're not going to be successful. It's just the case. It's frustrating, but when it happens and you have a great day, it's an awesome day. It boils down to being in the right spot, having enough decoys and being hidden well enough, and putting all the right things, because maybe you catch a day or the weather's not good. Who knows? There's so many factors that it's a rough deal, and that's why there's a lot of snow goose guys, but there's not a lot of guys that hunt snow geese, because it does take a lot of money, time, and effort to do it. So I enjoy it. I just like being out there with my buddies. These are my tips. Make sure to hit subscribe. Last thing I want to say too is a lot of people catch flack for being jump shooters. Don't let anybody say anything different to you. You're killing snow geese. It is what it is. Enjoy it. Have fun with your buddies. If you want to kill and clean 1,000 birds, you go for it. I'm not huge about it, but just because I don't want to do it doesn't mean you shouldn't. So go do it. Enjoy yourself and don't let anybody tell anything different. Enjoy the outdoors and have a good day. Before we go, make sure to check out biggerhunters.com for our gear. Check out our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and get out there and get after some snow geese, guys. Good time. So, alright guys, have a good night.